The nation's first ever face transplant patient stepped out before cameras on Tuesday to share her new look.
Well, I guess I'm the one you came to see today.
A team of surgeons from the Cleveland Clinic performed the groundbreaking surgery on 46-year-old Connie Culp last December. But until Tuesday, Culp's identity, along with how she became severely disfigured, remained a secret.
I was shot. I don't know if everybody knows that, but I was shot.
Culp's husband was the gunman. This is how she looked before he shot her in the face 5 years ago. The blast shattered her nose, cheeks, the roof of her mouth, and an eye.
She lost all the functions, and also she lost all the bones. And you can see a mix of metal and her bones on this CT scan.
Culp underwent 30 operations as doctors tried to fix her face. Then, last December, in an operation that lasted 22 hours, doctors replaced 80% of Culp's face with bone, muscles, nerves, skin, and blood vessels from another woman who had died just hours earlier.
She was called names, and children were afraid of her. It's a very emotional moment for me, right now, for the first time, to share with you Connie's picture after transplantation.
Doctors say it would not have been possible to restore Culp's face through conventional reconstructive surgery.
Even though that face transplant was the surgical procedure of the last resort, it does work and successfully restored to her much of her function, and we are continuing to see further function improve.
It was the fourth face transplant in the world, but it was the most extensive. And doctors say Culp can now breathe on her own, has regained her sense of smell, and can eat solid food.
Connie can enjoy her food. She eats hamburgers and enjoys her pizzas. She is drinking coffee from the cup.
No information has been released about the donor or how she died, but Culp made sure to thank the family.
Well, I know y'all want to focus on me. I think it's more important that you focus on the donor's family that made it so I could have this Christmas present, I guess I should say.
Doctors say the donor's family members were moved when they saw the before and the after photos of Culp. Mike Gracia, The Associated Press.
This morning in Health Watch, a medical miracle. A 9-year-old Texas boy suffered a horrible injury, but he survived against the slimmest of odds. Jordan Taylor is able to do things most 9-year-old boys like to do. But 3 months ago, doctors said Jordan had a 1% to 2% chance of survival.
And I just kept screaming. I just wanted him to wake up.
Jordan's mother, Stacy Perez, was behind the wheel when a dump truck ran a stop sign, plowing into her car. Jordan was buckled up in the back seat, but the impact caused an unthinkable injury.
The energy basically made his head lift up off of his neck and then move forward.
It's called orthopedic decapitation. Jordan's spinal cord remained intact, but his skull separated from his neck.
All of the connective tissue that essentially keeps your head connected to your neck was destroyed.
I do remember seeing him in the car and his head was just kind of hanging down.
Doctors were able to reattach his skull with a metal plate and titanium rods, giving hope back to a boy who has defied the odds. And joining us for an exclusive interview from the Cook Children's Medical Center in Fort Worth are Jordan, his mom Stacy, and Dr. Richard Roberts, a pediatric neurosurgeon. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Harry. How are you doing?
I'm doing really, really well. Jordan, you look great, man. How you doing, big guy?
Okay.
Good. Let me start with you, Mom. You're in this horrible car accident. You get banged up pretty badly. Did you get a chance to see your son in the midst of all of that? Could you see what had happened to him?
I didn't see anything that happened to him until a week later.
A week later. And you're in the hospital. You're basically okay. No one really wants to tell you the extent of your son's injuries because they're that severe. Let me ask Dr. Roberts this question. When you first laid eyes on Jordan, what did you think?
Well, initially looking at him in the intensive care unit, I knew he was pretty sick. As soon as we saw his radiographs, his MRI, his CT scan, we knew how how bad his injury was, what condition he was in.
Yeah, and as we say, I mean, it really is the slimmest of odds. What were some of the things that you had to do to basically reattach what needed to be reattached?
We needed to make sure that Jordan was stabilized, so we first put him into a halo. It's a carbon fiber ring that is screwed to his skull and attached to a vest. And then we took him to surgery. We wound up putting titanium plate on the back of his skull and attaching that by screws and rods to his neck to keep him connected.
Yeah, wow. Jordan, you look so good, and it's great to see you up and on your feet. What do you want for Christmas? That's my most important question. Do you know?
A guitar.
Okay. And now you've had some pretty big sports stars come visit you, huh? Right? Who came to visit you?
Yeah. Tony Romo, Deshaun Choice, Dirk Nowitzki, some of the Texas Rangers.
That's pretty darn cool. And Mom, how thankful are you to be able to sit next to your son like this in front of this Christmas tree and know that he's going to be around for the holidays?
Truly blessed. Absolutely blessed and grateful and thankful to Cook Children's Hospital. Didn't think it would, surely didn't think we'd be out of here by Christmas, and didn't think that, really and truly didn't think we'd even be out of here at all.
Indeed.
With them, so.
All right. Well, Jordan, take care. Merry Christmas, pal. Stacy, thank you very much. Dr. Roberts, a miraculous job. Thank you very much, sir.
Lally is just 1 month old, but she's already had hundreds of visitors. People are swarming to her village of Saini Sanpura, just east of New Delhi, to pay their respects. That's because they believe she's the reincarnation of the goddess Durga. Durga is normally thought to have 3 eyes and lots of arms. Lally was born with a rare condition which is called craniofacial duplication, which means she has 2 faces, with 2 noses, 2 pairs of lips and 2 pairs of eyes, which she opens and shuts at the same time. Her family say up to 100 people visit her every day to touch her feet, give money and be blessed. They're calling her a miracle. Some visitors have even taken photos, maybe hoping to take some good luck home with them.
To remove it immediately.
Basically, the size of the tumor was so big that it was pressing on his diaphragm, and that's why he was very breathless.
His surgeon, Dr. Ajay Mehta of Tata Memorial Hospital, Mumbai.
Because of the sheer size of the tumor, it was a bit difficult, and we anticipated a lot of problems.
Right away, it's clear that if it is a tumor, it's not like any Dr. Mehta has encountered before. As he cuts deeper, gallons of fluid spill out of the wound, and then something extraordinary happens.
To my surprise and horror, I could shake hands with somebody inside. It was a bit shocking for me.
He just put his hand inside and he said there are a lot of bones inside. First, one limb came out, and then another limb came out, then some part of genitalia, then some part of head, some limbs, toes, nails, hair.
Inside Sanjay's stomach was a strange, half-formed creature.
Feet and hands were well developed. It had fingers and the nails also. Nails were quite long.
We were horrified, we were confused and amazed.
What they had removed from Sanju's stomach was the mutated body of his own twin brother. One of the world's strangest medical conditions. It's called fetus in fetu.
It occurs 1 in 500,000 deliveries, and Less than 90 cases as of today are reported in literature.
Fetus in fetu comes about when very early in a twin pregnancy, one fetus wraps around and envelops the other. The dominant fetus then grows, and the fetus that would have been its twin lives on inside during the pregnancy, feeding off its host like a kind of parasite. Usually, both twins die before birth. But sometimes, as in Sanju's case, the host twin survives and is delivered. What makes his case so unusual is that for 36 years, no one suspected Sanju had a twin inside of him.
Actually, after operation, he was very much relieved because he was in a lot of agony, he was in distress, and he was not interested in knowing what happened, what exactly did doctor take out from his abdomen.
He didn't want to see it because it was looking very ghastly.
Life was very tough indeed, but now I'm much better.
Of course, there was no placenta inside Sanju. The parasite-enveloped twin had connected directly to his blood supply. Right after the surgery, the pain and inability to breathe disappeared. Sanju recovered immediately. To doctors, the case may have been a medical miracle, but to Sanju, his condition had been a source of shame and misery. All his life, people in the village where he lived had mercilessly teased him and told him he looked pregnant. And in a way, they were right.
They still ridicule him. Now they say, yes, you went for an operation and you delivered the baby.